Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. The greatest force inside you is not luck, it's not talent, it's not even opportunity. It's the burning desire to get better. That hunger, that obsession, that voice inside you whispering, there's more in me than what I've shown. That's the fire that separates those who stay average from those who create extraordinary lives. You see, life doesn't reward the person who simply shows up. Life rewards the person who shows up with a relentless drive to grow. Growth is not optional if you want greatness. Growth is not a luxury. It's the oxygen for achievement. The day you stop wanting to get better is the day you start dying on the inside. Comfort is the enemy of progress, and the desire to get better is the antidote to comfort. Every champion you've ever admired, every leader who inspired you, every entrepreneur who built something from nothing, they all had one thing in common. They refused to settle. They were obsessed with improvement. While others were sleeping, they were learning. While others were making excuses, they were executing. While others were waiting for the perfect time, they were building momentum. That desire to get better didn't just push them forward. It pulled them into a future they couldn't even fully see yet, but they knew they were meant to live. Now, let's get real. Wanting to get better is not always comfortable. It means confronting your weaknesses. It means looking in the mirror and admitting, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I will be. It means trading instant gratification for long-term mastery. It means doing what's hard today so you can live in a way others can only dream of tomorrow. It means saying to yourself over and over again, I'm not done. I will never be done. I'm just getting started. Think about it. When you were a kid, you had this natural curiosity, this hunger to explore, to learn, to push boundaries. Somewhere along the way, most people let that hunger die. They settle for good enough. They accept mediocrity as their ceiling, but not you. If you're in this room, if you're hearing my voice, it's because there's still a fire in you that refuses to be extinguished. That fire is the desire to get better. And when you feed that desire, when you commit to it fully, it will transform every area of your life. So here's the truth. Getting better is not about competing with anyone else. It's about competing with yourself. It's about waking up every day and asking, how can I be stronger, smarter, kinder, bolder, more disciplined, more alive than I was yesterday? If you do that consistently, if you live with that intensity, you will wake up one day in a life that you once only dreamed about. Your future, your family, your legacy, they are all waiting on one thing, your decision to never stop growing. The desire to get better is the spark, but discipline is the fuel, and action is the engine. Together, they make you unstoppable. So today, I challenge you, fan that flame. Take one step forward, then another. Push yourself past the limits you've accepted for too long. Because the person you're meant to become is not created by chance. It's created by your hunger, your desire, your relentless obsession to get better every single day. Growth is not something that happens to you. Growth is something you choose. Growth is not a byproduct of comfort, ease, or waiting for the right moment. Growth is a deliberate, conscious decision to step beyond who you are today and push yourself into the person you are capable of becoming. Every day you wake up, the question is not whether life will challenge you, because it will, but whether you will rise to meet those challenges with a hunger for improvement, with a desire to evolve, with an insatiable drive to get better. Embracing relentless growth is the difference between stagnation and transformation. It's the difference between someone who watches life happen and someone who makes life happen. Most people go through life as though they are passengers in a car, letting circumstances dictate their direction. They wait for opportunities, they wait for permission, they wait for the world to hand them success on a silver platter. But growth does not wait. Growth does not ask for permission. Growth demands that you step up, take control, and push yourself every single day. It's about looking at your life, your habits, your skills, your mindset, and saying, I am not done yet. I have more to give. I am capable of more than I have shown. It's about refusing to settle for the version of yourself that exists right now, because the version of yourself that you are capable of becoming is waiting just beyond the horizon. Relentless growth requires self-awareness. You cannot grow if you are blind to your weaknesses, your limitations, and your patterns of failure. Every champion, every high achiever, every person who has built an extraordinary life has spent time in brutal self-reflection. They ask themselves questions most people avoid. Where am I falling short? What am I tolerating that I shouldn't? What excuses have I been using to justify staying small? This kind of introspection is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. If you want to grow, you must be willing to look honestly at yourself and confront the truth. Even when it hurts, growth also requires an unshakable commitment to learning. The world is constantly evolving, and if you stop learning, you stop growing. Every skill you master, every piece of knowledge you acquire, Every new perspective you gain is a step forward. Learning is not just about reading books or attending seminars. It's about expanding your mind, your capabilities, your emotional intelligence, and your understanding of the world. It's about being curious, asking questions, and seeking out people and experiences that stretch you. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And if you stop growing, you start dying. To embrace relentless growth, you must also embrace challenge. Growth does not happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself past the edge of fear and doubt. Every obstacle, every failure, every setback is an invitation to rise higher, to become stronger, to refine your approach. When you face difficulty, you can see it as a roadblock or as an opportunity. People who commit to growth see every challenge as a chance to improve, to test their limits, and to stretch beyond what they thought possible. They do not shrink from difficulty. They move toward it with courage, with discipline, with determination. Consistency is another pillar of relentless growth. Desire alone is not enough. You must show up every day. Growth is not a single event or a one-time decision. It is a continuous daily practice. It's about making better choices, practicing better habits, and taking deliberate action every day. One day of excellence may feel good, but one day does not create lasting change. It's the compound effect of consistent effort over time that produces extraordinary results. You must commit to the process, to the grind, to the small incremental improvements that build momentum and transform your life. Relentless growth also requires resilience. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will encounter criticism, rejection, and doubt. But each setback is an opportunity to learn, to recalibrate, and to push forward with more wisdom and strength than before. The people who grow relentlessly do not allow failure to define them. They allow it to refine them. They use it as fuel to drive forward, as a signal that they are moving in the right direction, as evidence that they are testing themselves and expanding their limits. Surrounding yourself with the right people is essential for growth. Growth is contagious. When you are around people who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable, you are pushed to be better. If you spend time with those who are stagnant, negative, or complacent, their mindset and habits will hold you back. To grow relentlessly, you must carefully choose the influences in your life. Seek mentors, coaches, and peers who have achieved what you aspire to achieve. Learn from their experiences, model their habits, and let their energy elevate your own. Relentless growth is also about mindset. It is a decision to view the world through the lens of possibility rather than limitation. It is a commitment to believing in your potential even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Every thought, every belief, every story you tell yourself about who you are and what you can achieve either propels you forward or holds you back. Growth-minded individuals understand that mastery of the mind is the foundation of mastery in life. They actively cultivate empowering beliefs, replace limiting stories, and focus on solutions rather than problems. Finally, embracing relentless growth is about vision. It is about creating a picture of the person you want to become and the life you want to lead. It is about setting audacious goals that excite and challenge you. Growth without direction is just busy work. Growth with clarity and purpose becomes unstoppable momentum. When you know where you are going, every effort, every sacrifice, every learning experience becomes aligned with that vision. You are no longer drifting. You are moving with intention, with passion, and with unstoppable drive. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every life that seems larger than life has one thing in common: an unrelenting commitment to growth. They did not wait for permission. They did not wait for luck. They did not wait for circumstances to be perfect. They made the decision to grow, and they committed to that growth with every ounce of their being. And that is the power that is available to you right now in this moment if you choose to seize it. Growth is not a gift, it is a responsibility. It is your responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your community, and to the legacy you will leave behind. You are capable of more than you think, stronger than you know, and closer to your potential than you realize. But only if you commit fully, act consistently, learn constantly, and embrace every challenge as an opportunity to rise. The fire within you is not a small spark. It is a raging force, a limitless source of energy, passion, and purpose that has been waiting for you to ignite it fully. Too often, people go through life dimming their own flame, settling for mediocrity, or allowing circumstances and fear to smother the potential that exists within them. But the moment you decide to feed the fire within, everything changes. That fire is your drive, your ambition, your inner hunger that tells you, I can do more. I can be more. I will not accept anything less than my highest self. And feeding that fire is the key to unleashing extraordinary power and achieving results that most people only dream about. Feeding the fire within begins with clarity. You cannot fuel a fire you cannot see. You must get crystal clear about what you want, why you want it, and who you are becoming in the process. When your vision is powerful enough, it becomes irresistible. Your desires become non-negotiable. Your goals are no longer abstract, they are magnetic, pulling you forward even when obstacles appear, even when doubt creeps in, even when life tries to push you off course. A clear, compelling vision fuels the fire within like nothing else. It transforms energy into action, passion into persistence, and intention into unstoppable momentum. The fire within cannot be sustained without purpose. It is not enough to want success, money, recognition, or comfort. Those are fleeting. The deepest, most enduring fuel comes from knowing why you exist and why your life matters. Purpose is the jet fuel that propels your fire to levels you never imagined. When you wake up every morning with a mission, when you feel the weight and the honor of your potential, your fire ignites naturally. Purpose turns pain into power, obstacles into opportunities, and setbacks into lessons. It makes your fire untouchable because it is connected to something bigger than yourself. Feeding the fire also requires emotional mastery. The fire within is not just about desire, it's about controlling the energy that flows through you. Too often, people allow fear, doubt, and negativity to extinguish their flame. They let criticism, past failures, or other people's opinions determine how brightly they burn. But emotional mastery is the ability to channel your feelings, to use them as fuel rather than as roadblocks. It is about taking full responsibility for your state of mind and recognizing that no one can steal your fire unless you allow them to. When you master your emotions, your fire becomes unstoppable and your energy becomes magnetic to opportunities, success, and growth. Action is the most powerful way to feed the fire within. The fire cannot burn brightly if it remains dormant. Desire alone is not enough. You must act. Every step, every decision, every effort you make fans the flames higher. Even small actions create momentum. Even incremental progress ignites confidence. And even temporary discomfort strengthens your resilience. The fire grows when you refuse to stay passive, when you refuse to wait for permission, and when you refuse to allow hesitation to dictate your life. Action turns intention into results, dreams into reality, and potential into achievement. Surrounding yourself with inspiration is another key to feeding your fire. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who are negative, complacent, or uninspired, your fire will struggle to survive. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you, elevate you, and push you to expand, your fire grows exponentially. Seek out mentors, role models, and peers who have walked the path you aspire to follow. Learn from their experiences, absorb their energy, and allow their successes to fuel your own desire to achieve. Inspiration does not replace effort, but it ignites motivation, strengthens commitment, and reminds you why your fire matters. Gratitude is often overlooked, but it is an essential fuel for the fire within. When you are grateful for what you have, you activate energy and focus that multiplies your drive. Gratitude allows you to see opportunity where others see limitation, to see growth where others see obstacles, and to see progress where others see failure. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, your fire burns with a confidence that comes from knowing that the universe is abundant and that your efforts are not in vain. Gratitude does not diminish ambition, it amplifies it. It is the spark that keeps your fire alive during the toughest moments, reminding you that every challenge is a stepping stone toward your vision. Feeding the fire also requires risk and courage. The fire cannot burn brightly if you hide in safety. True growth, true achievement, and true fulfillment come when you are willing to step into uncertainty, to take calculated risks, and to confront fear head on. Courage is the oxygen for your fire. The more you stretch, the more you challenge yourself, the more you take risks aligned with your vision, the hotter your fire burns. When you act courageously, the energy inside you accelerates, confidence multiplies, and momentum becomes unstoppable. Without courage, the fire sputters. With courage, it blazes. Consistency is the secret that transforms a flicker of desire into a roaring inferno. Feeding the fire within is not a one-time act, it is a daily commitment. It is waking up with intention, it is taking deliberate steps toward your goals. It is showing up even when you feel tired, uncertain, or unmotivated. Every repeated effort strengthens your flame. Every disciplined habit, every persistent action, every learning experience compounds over time to create an unstoppable blaze that illuminates your path, clears obstacles, and draws opportunities to you. Your fire is also fed by challenges and adversity. Do not fear hardship, it is the ultimate fuel. When life tests you, when setbacks occur, when obstacles seem insurmountable, the fire within grows stronger if you choose to see them as opportunities. Every difficulty is a mirror reflecting your strength, resilience, and determination. Every failure is a lesson that tempers your resolve. Every challenge is an invitation to rise, to stretch, and to prove to yourself that your fire cannot be extinguished. Those who feed their fire within know that the brighter the flame, the darker the challenges must be. And the more they persist, the more their light expands. Finally, feeding the fire within is about legacy. It is about recognizing that the energy, passion, and drive inside you is not just for your own benefit. It is for the people you influence, the community you serve, and the world you impact. When you commit to fueling your fire, you become a beacon for others. Your energy, your growth, your passion inspires action in people around you. Your fire lights the path, not only for your own success, but for the ripple effect it creates in the lives of others. Feeding the fire within is a lifelong journey. It is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is not about immediate results. It is about daily investment. It is about waking up every day, acknowledging the flame inside, nurturing it with clarity, purpose, courage, action, and gratitude, and refusing to let it die. The fire within is your greatest asset, your secret weapon, the engine behind your dreams, and the source of energy that will carry you to heights beyond what you currently imagine. The most powerful competition you will ever face in your life is not with your colleagues, your neighbors, or your peers. The most important competition you will ever engage in is the one with yourself. When you commit to competing with yourself, you stop measuring your worth against the progress of others. You stop being distracted by what other people are doing, saying, or achieving. Instead, you direct all your energy, focus, and determination toward the one person who truly matters, the person you were yesterday. Every day becomes an opportunity to outperform your past, to refine your habits, to strengthen your skills, to expand your mindset, and to push beyond the limits you previously accepted. Competing with yourself is the ultimate form of freedom and the most reliable path to growth and success. To compete with yourself, you must first define your own standards. Far too many people live by the standards of others, measuring success by comparisons, by social norms, or by external expectations. This is a trap, a way to remain small, safe, and unremarkable. True competition with yourself requires setting benchmarks that are meaningful to you, benchmarks that stretch you, challenge you, and inspire you. It means asking yourself, what am I capable of? How much can I grow in the next week, month, or year? Where have I limited myself unnecessarily? And how can I raise my standards? By creating your own metrics for excellence, you reclaim your power and become the driver of your own progress. Self-awareness is at the core of competing with yourself. You cannot improve what you do not see. It requires brutally honest reflection on your strengths, weaknesses, habits, beliefs, and decisions. You must examine how you respond to challenges, how you manage your emotions, and how you allocate your time and energy. You must identify the patterns that have held you back and the behaviors that have propelled you forward. This level of introspection is uncomfortable, but it is essential. Without awareness, competition with yourself is meaningless because you are chasing shadows instead of growth. When you know exactly where you stand, you can chart a path that stretches you beyond your current limits and moves you closer to the person you are capable of becoming. Competing with yourself also requires relentless commitment to improvement. It is not enough to simply acknowledge where you want to be. You must take consistent, focused action to close the gap between where you are and where you want to go. Improvement is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate choices, disciplined habits, and continuous learning. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every uncomfortable conversation you have, every early morning and late night you dedicate to growth, all of these are steps in the race against your former self. The goal is not perfection. The goal is forward motion, momentum, and measurable progress. Patience is a vital component of competing with yourself. The journey of self-improvement is not a sprint. It is a marathon. You cannot expect transformation overnight, nor can you measure your worth by temporary results. Competing with yourself means celebrating incremental progress, acknowledging small wins, and understanding that mastery comes over time. It means remaining committed even when progress seems slow, when setbacks occur, when distractions tempt you to quit. The real victory is not in outdoing someone else. It is in becoming better than you were yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Discipline is another cornerstone of this inner competition. Talent, intelligence, and opportunity will only take you so far. What separates those who achieve their dreams from those who merely wish for them is consistent discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. Competing with yourself requires that you show up, do the work, and maintain high standards even when you do not feel like it. It is the ability to push through fatigue, frustration, and fear, to honor your commitments to yourself, and to never settle for shortcuts that compromise your growth. Every act of discipline strengthens your confidence and feeds the cycle of improvement. Competing with yourself also means embracing failure as feedback rather than defeat. The person who truly competes with themselves understands that mistakes are not signs of weakness. They are opportunities for growth. Every failure, setback, and misstep contains information about what works, what doesn't, and what needs adjustment. When you adopt the mindset that failure is part of the process, Your competition with yourself becomes a learning experience, not a source of shame or discouragement. You begin to approach challenges with curiosity, resilience, and a relentless drive to refine your approach until you succeed. Focus is the secret weapon in this competition. The more you can direct your energy toward your own growth, rather than being distracted by others' achievements or opinions, the more effectively you can elevate yourself. Competing with yourself requires setting clear priorities, eliminating unnecessary noise, and dedicating your time to activities that produce meaningful progress. It means asking daily, what can I do today to improve myself in a measurable way, and taking decisive action to answer that question. Every focused effort compounds, building momentum and accelerating your personal evolution. Gratitude and humility play a surprising role in competing with yourself. Growth is not just about outperforming your past. It is about appreciating how far you have come and recognizing the lessons that have shaped you. Gratitude keeps you grounded, reminding you that every victory, every skill, and every milestone is the result of effort, support, and opportunity. Humility allows you to remain teachable, open to feedback, and willing to adjust when necessary. Competing with yourself without humility or gratitude risks arrogance, stagnation, and unnecessary frustration. The balance of ambition with awareness and appreciation creates sustainable, meaningful growth. Visualization and mental rehearsal are tools that amplify your inner competition. The person who competes with themselves daily does not just act, they imagine, plan, and rehearse success. They create vivid mental pictures of the habits they want to embody, the results they want to achieve, and the person they aspire to become. This mental focus aligns energy, intention, and action, making improvement inevitable. By seeing yourself surpass your previous limits, you prime your mind and body to rise to the challenge, to respond with confidence, and to execute at a higher level than ever before. Finally, competing with yourself is about creating a life that is uniquely yours. When your energy is focused on self-mastery, your journey becomes an authentic reflection of your potential, values, and purpose. You are not chasing approval, recognition, or comparison. You are chasing excellence, fulfillment, and mastery. You measure progress against your own standards, define success by your own criteria, and live life on your own terms. This competition is empowering because it is sustainable, internally motivated, and limitless in scope. Every day you have the opportunity to be stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more capable than you were the day before. Discomfort is not your enemy. In fact, discomfort is one of the greatest allies you will ever have on the journey to growth and achievement. Every moment of unease, every challenge that stretches you, every situation that makes you feel vulnerable is a signal that you are on the edge of transformation. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort, seeking comfort at every turn, and telling themselves that ease and safety are the keys to happiness. But the truth is that comfort is the prison of mediocrity, and discomfort is the gateway to progress. When you learn to embrace discomfort, to welcome it as a sign that you are pushing your limits, you unlock the potential to grow in ways you never imagined. Growth always begins where comfort ends. Every skill worth mastering, every goal worth achieving, every level of success worth reaching requires stepping into situations that are unfamiliar, challenging, or intimidating. If your life feels too safe, too predictable, too easy, it is a strong indicator that you are not growing at the rate you are capable of. Discomfort is a signal, a compass pointing you toward the areas where your potential lies dormant. It is the universe's way of nudging you to stretch, to test yourself, to evolve. The moment you recognize discomfort as a sign of progress, your perspective changes. You stop fearing difficulty, and you start seeking it out as an essential ingredient for transformation. Turning discomfort into progress requires courage. It requires the willingness to act even when fear is present, even when uncertainty looms, and even when the path ahead is unclear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else, your vision, your purpose, your desire to grow, is more important than the fear you feel. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not those who never feel fear. They are those who acknowledge the fear, face it head on, and use it as fuel. Every time you move forward, despite discomfort, you expand your capacity, increase your resilience, and reinforce the belief that you are capable of far more than you previously thought. Discomfort also teaches lessons that comfort cannot. When you are pushed beyond what feels easy, your mind and body are forced to adapt. You develop problem-solving skills, emotional strength, and creative solutions that would never arise in a zone of ease. Challenges expose weaknesses, highlight opportunities for growth, and reveal inner resources you may not have known existed. Every uncomfortable experience contains within it the blueprint for your next level. By leaning into these experiences, analyzing them, and extracting lessons, you convert moments of unease into tools for personal mastery and forward momentum. Discomfort demands action. It is not enough to simply acknowledge that growth requires stretching. It must be acted upon consistently. Every step into discomfort, no matter how small, compounds over time. Facing difficult conversations, tackling tasks you have been avoiding, confronting limiting beliefs, pushing your physical or mental limits. These are the actions that turn discomfort into progress. Incremental, deliberate action builds confidence, strengthens habits, and expands your capabilities. The more you practice leaning into discomfort, the more natural it becomes to use it as a catalyst for transformation rather than a trigger for retreat. Discomfort also strengthens resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. The more you expose yourself to manageable discomfort in pursuit of growth, the better prepared you become for the unexpected. By choosing to face difficulties proactively, you condition yourself to handle adversity with grace, focus, and determination. Each time you push past discomfort, you reinforce a mental and emotional toughness that becomes a powerful advantage in every area of life. You learn that challenges are temporary, that setbacks are surmountable, and that you are capable of far more than you previously believed. To turn discomfort into progress, you must cultivate a mindset of curiosity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow?" Curiosity transforms discomfort from a source of frustration into a source of insight. It allows you to explore new perspectives, identify solutions, and discover strengths you may have overlooked. When you approach challenges with curiosity rather than resistance, discomfort becomes an invitation rather than a threat, and progress becomes inevitable. Discomfort fuels creativity and innovation. When everything is easy, your mind remains stagnant, your habits remain fixed, and your solutions remain conventional. But when you are pushed out of your comfort zone, your brain is forced to adapt, to think differently, to generate new ideas. The moments that challenge you most are often the moments that spark your greatest breakthroughs. By leaning into difficulty, experimenting with unfamiliar approaches, and taking calculated risks, you turn discomfort into a laboratory for growth, creativity, and transformation. Discomfort also deepens self-awareness. When life pushes you to your limits, you discover who you really are, what you truly value, and what you are capable of handling. You gain clarity about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the areas where you need to improve. You learn what drives you, what inspires you, and what holds you back. By reflecting on these moments, analyzing your responses, and adjusting your strategies, you convert discomfort into insights that accelerate your personal and professional development. Another essential aspect of turning discomfort into progress is persistence. The initial discomfort often fades once you begin taking action, but true growth requires sustained effort. You must push through repeated challenges, ongoing uncertainty, and repeated tests of your patience and resolve. The people who achieve remarkable results are not those who experience discomfort only once. They are those who consistently choose to confront it, adapt, and persevere. This repeated exposure strengthens character, sharpens skills, and compounds progress over time. Finally, discomfort reminds you of your own power. It challenges you to step up, take responsibility, and rise above limitations that once seemed insurmountable. Every time you embrace what is uncomfortable, you prove to yourself that you are stronger, more capable, and more resilient than you realized. You break the boundaries of what you thought possible and expand the horizon of what you can achieve. Discomfort becomes a teacher, a motivator, and a catalyst, showing you that progress is not found in ease, but in the moments. When you dare to move forward despite fear, uncertainty, or resistance, desire is the starting point of everything meaningful in life. It is the spark that ignites ambition, the vision that draws you toward your future, the inner whisper that tells you, "I am capable of more." But desire alone is powerless. Without action, desire remains a fantasy, a hope, a dream that never materializes. The bridge between what you want and what you achieve is action. Action is the engine that turns intention into results, energy into momentum, and possibility into reality. Every great accomplishment, every extraordinary life, every lasting transformation is the result of persistent, focused, deliberate action fueled by a burning desire to succeed. Many people wait for conditions to be perfect, for timing to align, or for clarity to appear before they take action. They spend years planning, thinking, or hoping, while the life they want slips further away. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. It is a form of self-deception that keeps desire stuck in imagination rather than expressed through reality. The truth is that action creates clarity. Action generates momentum. Action teaches lessons that no amount of reflection or planning can provide. You will never fully know your potential until you act, fail, learn, and act again. Action is the vehicle through which your desire becomes tangible. Action requires courage. Every step toward your goals involves risk, uncertainty, and vulnerability. To act is to confront fear, doubt, and resistance head on. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the commitment to move forward despite fear. When you act courageously, your confidence grows, your momentum accelerates, and your desire finds an outlet in results. Each action reinforces your belief in your own capability, and each step, no matter how small, compounds over time into massive progress. Focus is critical in converting desire into reality. Action without direction is wasted energy. You must be intentional with your actions, aligning every effort with the goals, vision, and values that matter most to you. Clarity about what you want allows you to prioritize the tasks, decisions, and steps that truly move you forward. Focus eliminates distractions, sharpens your energy, and ensures that each action is productive, meaningful, and aligned with the outcomes you seek. Without focus, action becomes busy work, and desire remains unfulfilled. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns sporadic effort into extraordinary results. One act of action may feel insignificant, but repeated action builds momentum, creates habits, and compounds into lasting transformation. The people who achieve their dreams do not rely on bursts of inspiration. They rely on disciplined, consistent action over time. They show up every day, invest in the process, and push forward even when motivation wanes. Desire fuels the initial spark, but consistent action keeps the fire burning and converts vision into reality. Action is also about learning through doing. You cannot anticipate every obstacle, predict every outcome, or prepare for every challenge in advance. Each step you take, each decision you make, each experiment you try provides feedback and teaches you what works and what doesn't. Action transforms abstract goals into tangible experience, creating wisdom that accelerates growth. The most successful individuals embrace mistakes, failures, and setbacks as opportunities to refine their strategies, adjust their approach, and improve their results. Without action, desire is static. With action, desire evolves into mastery. Momentum is a powerful force generated by action. The first steps are always the hardest because they require courage, commitment, and a willingness to face uncertainty. But once you begin moving, momentum grows. Each successive action becomes easier, more confident, and more aligned with your goals. Momentum transforms hesitation into certainty, doubt into confidence, and potential into results. The act of doing creates a cascade of energy that propels you forward, amplifying your desire and strengthening your commitment to achieve what once seemed impossible. Taking action also demands resilience. The path to converting desire into reality is never smooth. Obstacles, failures, and setbacks are inevitable. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who do not is not the absence of challenges, but the persistence to keep acting despite them. Resilient action requires a mindset that treats failure as feedback, setbacks as opportunities, and obstacles as temporary. Each time you recover, readjust, and push forward, your desire is reinforced, your capability grows, and your results move closer to realization. Clarity of purpose fuels action. When your desire is tied to a compelling reason, a mission, or a vision that excites you, action becomes effortless and natural. Purpose transforms mundane effort into inspired movement. It gives meaning to the sacrifices, the late nights, the extra effort, and the discomfort that comes with progress. Purpose-driven action is relentless, focused, and unstoppable because it is anchored in a vision of the life you are determined to create. Without purpose, action can feel like effort without meaning. With purpose, action becomes a joyful, energizing expression of your deepest desire. Accountability accelerates the impact of action. When you hold yourself accountable, you refuse to let excuses, procrastination, or external circumstances derail your progress. Accountability ensures that desire is followed by tangible steps and measurable outcomes. It turns intentions into habits, habits into momentum, and momentum into results. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and hold you responsible amplifies your capacity to act and sustains your drive to achieve more than you could alone. Action converts desire into reality through clarity, focus, momentum, resilience, and accountability, but it also requires a willingness to stretch beyond comfort. Desire is easy to feel, action is often difficult. It demands discipline, courage, and the willingness to do what others avoid. Each step outside your comfort zone is an investment in your potential. Every action taken in the presence of fear, uncertainty, or resistance strengthens your ability to succeed and reinforces the connection between desire and reality. The more you embrace this principle, the more you recognize that action is not just a step toward your goals, it is the mechanism by which your dreams materialize. Action also fosters confidence. The more you act, the more you trust your own judgment, skills, and capabilities. Confidence is not given, it is earned through experience. Each completed task, each challenge faced, each obstacle overcome creates evidence of your competence. Confidence strengthens desire, fuels momentum, and inspires further action. When you act consistently, you develop a belief system grounded in your achievements, not in wishful thinking, and that belief system propels you to take bolder, more effective action in the future. The act of doing teaches patience, persistence, and adaptability. Results do not appear instantly, and the path is rarely linear. Action requires the discipline to keep moving even when immediate rewards are not visible, the resilience to overcome setbacks, and the flexibility to adjust strategies when necessary. Every iteration of action provides insight, accelerates learning, and positions you closer to your vision. Desire alone cannot provide this. Only repeated, deliberate, and intelligent action can transform dreams into reality.